So hey everybody, so my wife and I decided to upgrade to the Varminpool heater. So those of you, if you have an above ground pool or an in-ground pool up to 35,000 gallons, 0 to 35,000 gallons, this particular pool heater is definitely a must-have. So I'm just going to show you some of the steps that I had to go through to get this thing hooked up to our above ground pool. Our particular above ground pool is about 32 feet long by 18 feet wide. So it's a pretty big above ground pool, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit. But I just wanted to talk about this particular heater, which is not only a smart heater, it allows you to operate it from your phone, but it has a lot of features. So you want to stay tuned and learn about how this particular heater for your pool can allow you to be able to enjoy your pool longer and even earlier than when the pool season actually starts. Because most of us, we use the pools usually between June and September, October. But this heater, it actually even cools as well. If the water's too hot, it will actually cool the water as well as heat it. But this particular heater will allow you to have several extra months because you can control and regulate the temperature of the water, especially when it begins to get cold. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about how this thing was installed and just some of the things that you'll need to do to get this thing hooked up. So the first thing I want you to be mindful of is this particular heater is not like a standard 110, 120 outlet. You will need to upgrade to a 220 volt line, which is what this cable is here. Now there's some electrical code things that have to take place, so if you don't understand electricity or you're not comfortable installing things, make sure you hire an electrician so that you can do this in a safe manner. Remember, you are talking 220 volts. But basically what I ended up doing, this side of the house is where our pool is, so I drilled a hole through the foundation. This area goes into a crawl space, and this wire here is actually tied into our electrical panel box on a double pole breaker, which is typically for 220 volts. And then I just ran this cable out of the house. It does have to be in this kind of gray conduit to be up to code. I also used some silicone caulk, as you can see here, where I had to drill the hole so we don't get a lot of weird stuff sneaking in. I used some Tapcon screws to drill into the concrete. Remember, Tapcon will actually drill into the concrete and it will hold pretty good. But anytime you have electricity outside, especially when you're talking the kind of voltage we're talking, is you want to have a quick disconnect box, because you want to be able to disconnect the wires from the unit if you have an issue while you're out here working on it. So we're going to open this up here, and I'm going to show you how this is actually installed as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this little plug. This plug will disconnect. It's actually wired. So remember my gray shielded cable that's coming from the panel? As you can see, it comes from the panel inside the crawl space down there. Goes from the panel, comes along, comes up the wall here, goes into this box. So in this box, you can see there are several wires. And again, folks, just let me reiterate this again. If you are not comfortable with electricity, hire an electrician to do this properly. If you have a friend or somebody that you know that understands electrical wiring and can do it up to code, hire them. So you see these wires here. This is coming from my panel. And again, the manual that comes with the heater will explain to you everything that you need as far as what gauge wire and so on and so forth. So as you can see, there are connections underneath here where these wires go. Now this is hot. Okay, because I pulled that little plug out, there is no power to the heater. But if I touch these two wires right here, this red and this black one, up here where these screws are, it will shock me. You know, electricity can kill you. So again, folks, be careful. But I basically screwed this box to the wall, and it allows me to have a way to disconnect this if I need to work on the heater or work on any other parts of my electrical equipment out here for the pool. So basically these wires, the white wire is my neutral, which goes to this neutral bus bar here. This black wire and this red, again, 110 and 110 is 120. So each of these wires is carrying my 110. As you can see, it goes on those terminals. And then I have my wire here that came with the heater. This particular heater will come with the attached cable, so you do not need to go out and purchase any additional shielded cable to connect this. And then what you do is you run your wire from your heater. If you look over there, you can see where it's coming out of the bottom of the heater. I have it running through one of these things just to keep it protected from somebody tripping over it. And it comes up here into the box on the opposite side. And then I tie it to the same terminals as you can see, black, black, red, white. Now in this case, not to get too technical here for those of you that aren't electricians, I am using the white wire as a hot wire. So this is 110, this is also 110. But you'll notice here, you'll see this white wire here, and that's technically acting as my neutral or my ground. Again, I don't want to get too technical. And like I've already said 3 times, if you're not comfortable, hire an electrician. So basically, we're going to put this back together. And then we're going to get the heater powered back up again. So that goes there. This thing here plugs in. All right, as you can see, it's back in, so we should have power to our unit. Then I lock my box, and we are good to go. Okay, and just continuing with what I was saying, as you can see here, underneath these 4 screws is your wire that thankfully actually comes already wired. So all you need to do is run this cable here over to your box I just got finished describing to get you your power. This may take, you know, several hours for you to feel the temperature of the water changing to where it's comfortable to get in. Water comes out of your skimmer, goes into your filter, goes through your filter ball, comes out over here from your filter ball where the water is filtered, goes into the heater, comes out of the heater up top and into the pool where the water is the water temperature. So whatever, once the water goes through this pipe here on the bottom, the heater, which almost acts like an air conditioning system, will either heat or cool the water. That same water will exit out of the heater up at the top here and into your pool. And as it continues this cycle, it will slowly either cool down your pool or warm it up so it's the temperature that you want it to be. So super simple once you get it set up. Now this particular unit requires you to sit it at least 6 inches above the ground. So as you can see here, we have it set on these bricks. So on this side, they really want you to use these rubber feet for like vibration. Now some people may screw these in. I didn't want to screw ours in. I wanted to make it where I could actually move this if I needed to. So briefly, I just wanted to talk about the actual display. I know most of us nowadays, we would definitely use our cell phones if we had the app on our phone, which this unit allows you to be able to do that. But I also wanted to just discuss some of the features of this thing, because there may be times where you're out here adjusting your settings too. It is convenient to use the settings that are on your app. But again, I just wanted to discuss briefly how this works. So here, this is your cover. When you squeeze these little tabs, it will release. It also has the ability where you can lock it and unlock it. As you can see here, there is a lock mechanism. Show unlock, yes or no. Just click yes. This digital display here gives you the ability, as you can see here, to adjust the temperature, to lower the temperature, turn the power on and off. It has its settings, gives you the day of the week. And again, all this stuff is programmable. As you can see, you can program it. You have your settings, you have the time. So if you want to set what time you want this thing to come on or turn off, it has the different functions. It has your Wi-Fi set up. It even has an error section that will also show you if you're having an error with your system, what that error is and how to correct it. Go to settings, you have to enter your password. Here you have the different programmings, give you the status, time. Obviously that's pretty self-explanatory. You can set the date and time, what language. The date and time is going to matter because if you want to come on at 6 o'clock, you want to make sure you have it set to whatever time it is where you're at. That's pretty common sense. It has different periods 1, 2, and 3, so you can have it come on and off for different times. Like I said, guys, this thing has a lot of different features built into it. Again, the Wi-Fi function, we haven't set that up yet. It's got defrost, it's got reset, and so on and so forth. So guys, listen, most of these settings will also be in the phone app. Like I said, I'm just trying to give you an idea of what you're going to be dealing with on the unit itself. So you have the ability to do this through the unit itself, or once you download the app, you can do it through the app as well. So we're going to power this off. Turn it off. It gives you a prompt, yes and no. So we're shutting it off, and as you can see, it gives you what your inlet temperature is, what your outlet temperature. The majority of us are going to use the app on our phone, but you still need to understand what features and functions you have through this portion of your machine itself. And so just to touch base a little bit, just so you're aware of some of the features that this heater has. Like I said, for my wife and I, we love it. It's been working great. We just went through a period of time where it was really hot. We were able to use the cooling function of the pool heater, and it actually did cool down the water temperature. But this thing is 120,000 BTU, or British thermal unit, and it's made for large pools. Typically, like I said earlier, anything between 0 to 35,000 gallons. Like I said, our pool is about 32 feet long by 18, 20 feet wide. It's a big pool, but it's above ground. But this will work also with in-ground pools as well. In my personal opinion, this thing provides powerful, and I mean powerful, heating and cooling performance. Like I said, we've had heaters before, but this one just seems to be a little bit better than the previous one. I also like the fact that it has energy savings built into it as well. And what I mean by that is there's a built-in pool inverter in the heater that actually adjusts the output based on real-time demand. So think about that for a moment. It's preventing you from wasting energy while keeping the water in your pool more stable, which is super important, especially as you spent electricity trying to heat it up or cool it down so it can be comfortable for you. If I'm being honest, and tell me if you disagree with me, but most of us are wanting everything in our home to be more efficient, right? To me, it was a huge plus. Another thing that I love about it is it's got an app that you can download to your phone, which has a smart Wi-Fi function, which allows you to adjust the temperature, the settings, the timer. You can have this thing cut on and cut off for certain times. All this is built into a phone app. So if you get up in the morning, you haven't been outside yet, and you're like, you know what, I want to turn the heater on, get the temperature set to a certain temperature. You can set all this stuff up through the smart app that comes with this heater. All you have to do is download it to your phone. Another thing that I thought was kind of unique about this particular heater is that it comes with a titanium heat exchanger. And what that means is it allows you to transfer the heat or the cooling, whichever it is you're trying to do, quickly. And all of us know when you're wanting to get in the pool because you want to enjoy it, you want to do it quickly. You know, all of us are wanting things done, Johnny, on the spot. And the fact that this has a heat exchanger built into it that allows you to do that, to me and my wife, was a super plus. And finally, one of the last features that I liked about it was the fact that it's super quiet. This thing gives off anywhere between 49 to 60 decibels, which is very low. So depending on whatever time of the day you're running this thing, it's not going to disturb your neighbors. So again, if you haven't done so already, click the link. If nothing else, read about it, check it out. And again, if you're like us and you like to use your pool most of the year round, like I live in the Midwest, so anytime I can get in my pool in April, that's an awesome thing for us. Or have it last. You know, we do a lot of work setting up our pools and getting them ready for the season. So you don't want to just have to be able to enjoy it from June to like September, especially if you live in the Midwest like we do. We live in Ohio. So imagine in Ohio, it's snow and it's cold. So if I can use this thing into the fall, because sometimes we don't see our first snow until sometimes October, November, or even later. So, but usually by that time, we have the pool already shut down and pool cover on and everything. But imagine being able to use it longer throughout the season or even earlier. So if you haven't checked it out yet, check out this pool heater by Varminpool. Click the link down below, visit their website. They have a lot of other cool products as well. Like I said, for my wife and I, we love it. This has been a godsend for us.